Welcome to the Stoked.live podcast, everyone, where we empower you to be your best at work and in life. I'm Brian, co-founder and COO with Stoked.live. And I'm, of course, here with Dr. Jacob Engelskirger, consulting psychologist, and one of my co-founders here with Stoked. We have a special guest for you today, and I say special in a special way. We have a lot of special guests every podcast, but Arturo, I think you'll love, is an expert in a field we all dream about every time we think about our health and well-being. His presence sure seems to evoke mental clarity and calmness. Arturo has been practicing yoga for more than 25 years and teaching yoga for 15 years. He taught yoga at Harvard College to the women's swimming and tennis teams, traveling internationally with them for their training and competitions.
We're clearly so stoked to have you here with us today, Arturo. This is a real pleasure. You're such an expert in your field and an expert of many things at that. I know today we're here to talk mostly about yoga and habits and meditation, but it's been so fascinating and meaningful for me to get to know you a bit recently and learn about all of your many talents. I wanted to share that I met you initially through my wife, who's been a student of yours for years and has
Right.
nothing but glowing things to say about you, and how you've worked with her. And it's just been such a joy to get to know you a bit and have you support my family like this. And so on that note, we're stoked to have you. We're stoked to learn more. Um, and I wanted to see if there's anything else you'd like to add to expand upon this little introduction today before we dive into some more specific questions.
Well, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for having me. Right. I'm very excited about it. And no, yeah. So you can expand something about, my student, one of my students, your wife. And the most amazing part is that during her pregnancy, we were practicing yoga. So we went all the way through. And I remember that Friday when she went to the hospital, we practiced yoga in the morning, and then she went to have the baby, and then it was a week or two. We retake it, of course with certain modifications,
Yeah.
but always, with the breath, which is the most important part, the breath work. So because that's one of the key elements of meditation and yoga and mindfulness. So I'm very, very happy to be here. Thank you for having me, and let's do it. I'm in the Yucatan Peninsula, right in the middle of, I would say, the forest or the jungle. And so after the lockdown, I rented a car and I went driving to find a place to find a piece of land, because I say, well, I'm going to create my yoga wellness center. So this is what I'm doing here. So I have an acre, and so I have this cabin. This is my first cabin, and then I'm building another one right now, which I'm living there, and then I have the plans to build two other ones in here. Then the yoga studio open, and then another small cabin for the massages, right? So this is going to be a yoga wellness center. So this is place I rented out as an Airbnb, and so people come over because in the Airbnb and Booking.com it is advertised as La Cabaña Mágica and Yoga. So the magic cabin and yoga, the magical cabin and yoga. So yoga people are, they read about it and they read about me, and I have a lot of people here. I have had a lot of people because, just because of that, they read about yoga. And so I teach them yoga. I give them massages. And so that's how I'm starting my whole thing. My idea is moving. So this is now my life project, right? And finally, I found what I love to do.
And so, Arturo, you've said that following your bliss often meant stepping away from comfort. How did habits help you stay grounded and courageous during those transitions?
You know, I think it's we have to stay physically strong. Physically strong. Um, Tony Robbins have a phrase, and he says that physiology influence influences psychology. So what I notice is that, during those transitions, because you have moments of doubt. I mean, it's like and fear and anxiety. It's like, well, I'm gonna give up this that I had already built up. So I'm gonna be successful in my new idea of who I am. So that transition is tough. It's hard, you know. Even you get your body, all tensed out. But that is what I notice is that you have to stay strong, physically strong. So you have to find a way, either bicycle, swimming, whatever makes you breathe and makes you move and make you stronger, make you strong. So you have to stay physically strong, right? And then little by little, you get a better clarity. So the challenge is there, but the way you see it is in another frame. So you have legs to support, strong legs to support yourself, and the transition of what you are pursuing. Because I noticed when I was for like 10 years a civil engineer working in construction management and very successful shareholder of a largest construction company in Latin America. And then I said, well, not, I knew that that was not my path. I was, reflecting. I said, this is not, I'm not going to end up in an office at 50, 60 and retired doing this type of work. There's so much. And, so at that time, that's when I was working on my black belt. So that transition, I was very strong. And believe me, I got, my lower back out because I needed to make the decision and tell the company, say the shareholders, I'm leaving. So when I said that, believe me, my body was so tensed out. I remember I had this strong back pain for a couple of days. I couldn't get up of the bed. When I was ready to announce that I was leaving, but I was strong, so I came back strong again, and so I was able to sustain myself, and and to confront that decision, and to say, what, this is what I want to do now. I'm going to teach martial arts, and I'm just going to do it. So I used to run in the morning, and then in the evening I would train. So it's running and training, right? Or before the class, I would go running and then training. So, to get some oxygen and then, some strength, and so that's what I do. Then yoga had helped me to make some transitions as well. Um, yeah, so I would say you have to stay physically strong and fit, and that would help to make those changes. That if you really want to make a big change in your life. That helps a lot. Yes. There we go. That's it.
Absolutely. And it never fails to amaze me, Arturo, how difficult it is for some people to see the mind body connection in this way. Like it's not, I don't think of it as a super complex thing. It's fairly simple in my mind, but there's so much resistance to acknowledging that it is important to take care of one's body and to be strong physically and have strong musculature in order to have a strong mind. It's so simple, yet there's unfortunately so much resistance and that I encounter in the course of my work to, you know, people really embracing that there's work to be put in to build oneself up in this way.